my name is Tika and I'm here with Nataliya today, and together we're speaking about the feminine expression of embodied awakening. So Nataliya, welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you Tika for having me here. My name is Nataliya Basant and I'm a spiritual mentor and teacher, and I help women and men to realize and embody their true nature and live it in daily life, in all areas of their life.
Beautiful, wow. So today we're going to have a very casual conversation. Not too many questions prepared. We're just going to share what really comes into this space. And of course, we know we're going to guide you through a beautiful journey of feminine energy awakening and what that means and what it looks like in a body, in our life, and on a broader scope of this life, of this beautiful, magical incarnation we are in. So let's just kick things off with one starting question. What is feminine awakening for you?
Feminine awakening, to take it into the broader context, beyond genders, beyond psychological structures, is the flowering of consciousness. When awakening has filtered down through all the layers, through the mind, through the heart, through the body, then it, in that openness and in that integration, the feminine reveals itself. It can happen for both, for male and female. So when I say feminine, I'm talking about the energy. I'm not referring to gender. We understand awakening mainly as transcendental experience, as realization of our true nature that is beyond the constructs of the personal identity, beyond the body, beyond feelings. And it has been taught in this way by many teachers. However, if transcendental dimension is not integrated with the daily life, it becomes partial or incomplete, and the full embodied expression of awakening for both female and male, it actually expresses in unity of both dimensions. So transcendental dimension, that is dimension of one being or pure consciousness, and the dimension of physical reality, where it comes to the play of different forms, male and female forms. It comes through the expression of daily living life. So we can say that the feminine, the masculine part is the mind, the feminine part is the heart, or the masculine part is the transcendental consciousness or being, one being, and the feminine part is the body. But those are just pointers, because the mind actually contains both sides, feminine and masculine, and so is the heart. That's why it's one total whole, but still you can recognize the energy, the masculine energy, which is presence, stillness, structure, unshakable strength, you can call it, that comes from the strengths of spirit, from the strengths of presence, and the feminine energy, which is more about openness, vulnerability, love, nourishment. And when both of these energies are integrated in a female or in male, it becomes a beautiful dance of integration.
Yeah, it's so beautifully explained, and there's so many things that we could dive into much deeper. Before I do so, I would love to ask one question about what you mentioned, that there can be a partial awakening. And what I feel is that it is quite important to go a little into that. What does a partial awakening look like? And how does that compare to a transcendental integration?
Yes, many people experience what can be called moments of awakening. That is when they have an understanding that they are aware that they are actually aware. So because most people live in complete mechanical ways where they are completely identified with their thoughts, with their emotions, so there is no distance between the fact that they are aware and the actual mental and emotional activity. So when one realizes that actually I can observe my thoughts, I can observe my emotions, a little pause comes in between, and that pause can facilitate awakening. So many people experience which is called Kundalini awakening, and that is the movements of energy that coincide with realizations in the mind. So people can experience sensations, movement of energy, and they can have moments, what is called in the Eastern traditions as satori, where they get into that place where there is no mind, where they are completely present, completely aware, completely now. But this experience don't last, but they are very helpful for someone to get, so to say, the taste of what it is like. I remember myself, when I did many yogic practices and meditation, and once I was in the park and I was running, and I had that state where my mind was completely gone, just during running. So it can happen to anyone during when you have some situations when you face danger. Yeah, when your mind is completely gone, and there you are so totally present, so totally aware that something else takes over. So many people experience that in the moments of beauty, sunset, sunrise, when they embrace their beloved. So people get that sense of taste of their true nature. But these are the initial stages of awakening. The true awakening, in its true sense, is realization of your true nature, which is realization of unreality of your personal self or of your separate self. When you realize there is no such thing as a person that you believed yourself to be. So it's realization of your being, which is nothing in particular, just beingness. So that is true awakening, and this, in my experience and in experience of many that I worked with, is the most cathartic energetically, because it moves a lot of energy that was trapped in the construct of the personal psychological structures, reorganizes them and rewires the nervous system and even your brain cells. So you can experience very expanded states of consciousness. You can experience intense energy movement that can last for quite some time. And once that initial stage of realization, awakening, the term that is used for that is self-realization or God realization in the Eastern tradition, self with a capital S. And this moment, after this moment comes dissolution, the process of dissolution of the psychological structures, because in most cases the awakening does not immediately dissolve all the traumas, all the deeper subconscious layers, all the defense mechanism of the heart. It often happens on the mind level first. So you have illumination of your mind, you can call it in this way, but then it has to filter down, so to speak. It filters down through the heart. And this is where all your defense mechanisms are. Your deeper layers of pain, all deeper subconscious tendencies, how you resist life, how you resist to open to life, how you resist certain experiences. So that has to filter deeper through the heart, and then you can have a beautiful experience of energetic expansion of your heart. And that can be called illumination of your heart. And then as it settles down and grounds in the body, these movements of energy tend to subside. So you have, so to say, a still, present, open space, which is nothing in particular, but just the space of pure life.
Yeah, beautiful. As you explain it in this way, it also reminded me of the ego death that many people talk about. And would you say that this moving through the stages to drop in to the heart and go through those deeper layers of defense mechanisms can also be called the ego death, or is that something different?
Yes, absolutely, Tika. That is ego death, essentially. So you can have mini ego deaths when you move from one version of yourself to another version of yourself, to a complete ego-death when you realize there is no such thing as a separate self. And then I would say there are mini ego deaths after that, once you keep on surrendering the residual structures and defense mechanism and deeper unconscious layers. So if you say that ego or psychological self is what you believe yourself to be as a person, so it's just a thought that you have about yourself. I'm this, I'm that, this is my experience. So when this shatters, then there is no sense of self as such, but the remaining beliefs, unexamined beliefs, or deeper tendencies and deeper dense emotional layers that include ancestral memory and everything that you have to deal with from the collective unconscious. Everything then is coming up for you to examine and dissolve back in love.
Yeah, and before we go really fully into that final stages of what it feels like to have an embodied awakening, let's go also a bit deeper into that like energetic movement in the body, because you referred already to Kundalini.
Yes.
And there's also a broader sense of like energy and the dissolution of ego and dropping into our heart space, which are two separate things, I would say, even though there is still quite maybe some misunderstanding of the differences of the two. So we can refer to the energetic movement as the Kundalini that is laying in our body, usually dormant, and then it can awaken to go through the cleansing process within our body. But there's also the concept of Shakti, which is, from my perspective and my learning, the broader concept of this topic and the deeper states of love and that self-realization of that we are non-separate one beings. So let's go a little into that and share with people how they can feel Kundalini and why Shakti is relatable but not the same.
Yes, that's actually a very interesting point, because there is a lot of confusion about that, and people think that Kundalini by itself is Shakti or Kundalini is awakening, which is not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kundalini yoga is awakening.
Well, I practice myself Kundalini yoga, and I remember one of my teachers said, I practiced for so many years, nothing happens to me.
Nothing happens. Yeah.
But Kundalini, I would say, can be a preparation for awakening, because I did practice Kundalini yoga and meditations, and I remember that I experienced a lot of energy moving through the body, a lot of cleansing as well, and dissolution of some emotional layers or some psychological patterns. So it is helpful, but it's not awakening in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it is not Shakti in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So as we said, awakening is the dissolution of the identity, of the egoic identity, and realization that there is just being. There is no such thing as me, or as a self, as a separate self. Now, that can be experienced in the body as expansion, and it releases. So once the dissolution happens, it releases a lot of energy. Now, I remember after my self-realization or awakening, for some time I was in a very energetically expanded state that had to come down and ground. So in my view, the process of awakening happens gradually, because it's just too much on the system, on the body system. The body system cannot handle so much energy, so much pain, and so much love.
Yeah.
Now, Shakti is the energy of the source. It's the energy of life. It is the pure energy of being. It is in everyone, male and female. So what happens once the ego death and the dissolution of the egoic structures happens, and all that energy that was condensed into the scaffolding of the self, once all of that gets merged into the totality of the energy of life, then you can experience Shakti. You can say that's love. It is love, not in the sense of emotional, personal love, but in the sense of cosmic love, where love becomes your state. And for some reason, women are the ones who are meant to embody that feminine expression of being. Being is one, it's indivisible, it's beyond genders. But for a female, when being expresses itself in a woman's body, she becomes Shakti. She becomes a pure source energy, the energy of creation. And that's what every woman is underneath her mental and emotional and psychological structures.
Yeah. So if we think about a woman that is Shakti,
Yes.
she's walking on the streets, people are looking at her, what do they see?
It's very interesting, because it's actually what they see depends on them.
That's true.
But a woman which is open, because Shakti essentially is openness. You open yourself up completely to life. Now, I'm not suggesting that you become opened without discernment in places where there is no need for that. I'm talking about openness as a state of non-resistance and no defense towards life. So you could say open heart, open mind, just open space. And when a woman touches that dimension of Shakti, she truly becomes a magnet. It's a living magnet. It's a very beautiful creature, and you can see it. And I see it from the women that I work with. They're getting more and more beautiful every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
the more they embody Shakti, you can see radiance, and they are beautiful, not because they are putting nice clothes or nice makeup or whatever women do to look beautiful. Not because of that, because something of Shakti starts to emanate from her. And that's extremely attractive to people and to men specifically who are sensitive to that fine expression of the feminine.
Yeah, and it really reminds me of how we met each other, because we went to a little market and I sat down next to you without knowing you, and yeah, turn out we both speak about the same topic. And when I texted you and shared with you what I do, then I think you said, Shakti always connects me with the right people, which for me also explains a bit of like, what is Shakti? You don't have control anymore. You realize, I mean, you have a certain extent of control, but you realize that there is a power that is more incredible than I could ever be, because it positions me exactly in the right place, in the right time, to meet the right people that I needed to meet in that moment. And logically, you cannot make that up. It's not the mind that can create certain circumstances. It is a higher energy that moves through you and that creates magic in life.
Yes, absolutely. It is exactly as you described. Shakti is the power of God to move things in existence. So a woman who embodies Shakti is actually a power in the world, not in the sense of power as domination, as a male, distorted male version of power that many women adopt this day. It's a soft power. It's a power to move and transform things by her presence, by simply being what she truly is, by shining as what she is. That creates the circumstances of her life, that attracts to her the right opportunities, the right people, the right man. Everything comes to her without her doing any effort or much planning or pushing or forcing or manifesting. As many women are doing. It's a power of surrender.
Yes.
When you completely surrender your personal agenda, how you think things should be and how you think things should work out, and work with that beautiful movement of energy and intelligence, because it's not just energy, it's also intelligence. The intelligence of love.
Yeah, and you mentioned something very interesting here, which is she is not manifesting, and this very much resonates with me, as I was journaling the other day and I wrote down, who am I to try to manifest a specific outcome? It felt almost like an insult to Shakti to try to manifest something specific. So instead of manifesting more money or more like incredible things in life, they will come to me, I trust. So I started to manifest a deeper connection with my Shakti. It's like, all I want to accomplish in this life is to stay connected to my Shakti, because then manifestation doesn't come with doing or with thinking what I want, but it means trusting I will attract what is right for me. And that is a shift in the way that we live. But it's a more humble way of manifesting.
Yeah. Yes, you are exactly right. There is a switch that happens when you realize that there is a higher power that is in control of your life. And the sooner that you realize it, the better it is, because you surrender to that power. And when you allow the power to work through you and stay present and open at the same time, then you will be guided every moment about the steps that are needed for you. So you're not manifesting purely at the mental level, because that's not enough. You are manifesting, if you want to use this word, at the level of your being, at the level of the source. So it's not just you as a separate person manifesting something, it's life as a whole manifesting something through your body, and this is an incredible power.
Yeah.
So the way I see it and the way I guide women is to be more available to that power, open more and more and more, and drop all the defenses of the heart, because these are the main ones that are preventing full openness and full expression of this power.
Yeah. And what we can highlight here as well is that we're speaking about the feminine embodiment. We're speaking about Shakti. However, we already mentioned it's not only feminine, it's also masculine. And if I would describe Shakti, it is the perfect balance between masculine and feminine, where feminine energy, to me, it always feels as like the attraction, the surrender, the trust. But we also need that doses of masculine energy where we know when it's time to take action and say, but I'm doing this as well, and I'm showing up, and I'm consistent, I have a goal, I am going into that direction. And we cannot only be purely magnetic and receive, because I feel then we also miss the right opportunities, because we need to tune in to the intuition to know now it's my time to actually take action. And that is that dance between the female or the feminine and the masculine energies that's I feel it's important to also understand.
Yes, we need to use both energies, both masculine and feminine aspects. Now, when we come to Shakti specifically, in Shakti is the power that a man does not have until he is integrated man. That means he integrated the female inside of him. So for a man, it's the way that he can open to Shakti is through love, through either loving God up to the point of obliteration, or the easiest and more natural part, through loving a woman. And surrendering his egoic and sexual drive to actually truly love her. That's and in that, Shakti from a woman can come through to a man.
Yeah.
That's what Tantra is based on. Integration and realization of your true nature through love. But a woman and both men must use both qualities masculine and feminine, because the masculine quality is action, is presence. It is that unshakable commitment to and courage to go the way that you know that is right to go, not to stay confused or withhold yourself or doubt yourself or lack courage. So the masculine is strength. It's a strength of presence, a strength of determination, strength of seeing clearly what you want and going in that direction. But without the feminine aspect, which is receptivity. That means that intuitive knowing, as you said, to actually know what is it that is coming through me, what is it that I want to do with my life, where actually I want my life to go. And that comes from a deep receptivity of your true nature and openness, not just feeling stuck in like this is what I do, but openness to allow the opportunities come to you. So it's, yes, it is an interplay through action and receptivity. So the openness and clarity and presence. It is a very beautiful dance when it's integrated in a woman or a man.
Yeah, once I heard this analogy that divine union of man and female is like a tango dance, where the man is the one leading the dance, not to shine, but to make the woman shine. So he is holding the woman so the woman can shine. And that really truly resonated with me, because it shows the masculine as the stronger pillar and the one leading the dance, but it is about the woman at the end. So that was a beautiful analogy, and it actually makes me curious about your answer to my upcoming question, which is, do we need a woman as a man to awaken, and do we as a woman need a man to be fully embodied?
The answer is no. You don't need a woman or a man to be awakened, but it's natural and very pleasurable for a man and a woman to awaken through conscious relationship and right lovemaking, because these are two extremely beautiful energies, the true male and the true female. And when they come together, and this happens in any relationship, whether you know it or not, we believe that relationship happens because we want some personal comfort, or we want to have a family. Relationship happens by consciousness on any level, where there is a potential for you to awaken to your true nature. So even in a regular relationship, there is still this potential that you can give something to each other to bring each other closer, maybe not completely to realization of your true nature, but closer to realization of your true nature. But in relationship where it's done consciously, with full awareness, this can be absolutely transformative, because you can see each other as a mirror of all your deeper tendencies, all your deeper wounds, all your traumas and past hurts, that all will be exhibited for you to see and to work through, and actually purified in the fire of love, because this type of relationship, they are fire. They are fire. They can burn through the falsities. And if a woman is awakened, she can be a tremendous power to balance the feminine in a man and awaken him to his true nature. Because the point of relationship is the union, not just between a man and a woman, if you talk about man and a woman in this case, but the union within each other. So it's like a beautiful union within and without, and it can happen in relationships.
Yeah. Can it happen with any partner, or is that a specific person? Some people will say it can only be in a twin flame situation, for example, where you're the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and you come together, and that is the divine union. Or are there like several people who can be your partner in that beautiful dance?
I guess it depends. It's all run by intelligence. So any partner where there is a relationship, even if it does not seem like it's a perfect match on the outside, that is the right one for you, because the intelligence designs relationship in a way where there is the highest possibility of transformation.
Yeah.
So it can be anyone. It can be actually someone that you least expect. So usually there is a potential to raise the ground of consciousness in each body through love.
Yeah.
And it can happen with any partner, really.
Yeah. And earlier you were referring to Tantra.
Yeah.
Let's break down a little bit first, like Tantra and Neo-Tantra, because these are two different concepts, where Tantra from the yogic tradition, it's more working with the energy in the body through yogic asanas and pranayama. Neo-Tantra refers a bit more to that sexual dynamic with ourselves and with other partners, with the purpose of supporting the awakening journey. I guess you are more referring to the neo-tantric practices when we were talking about it earlier, with the more sexual practices. How do you think they can help with this journey?
The real Tantra is not about pleasure, but about dissolution of the separate self. So that's what the real purpose of Tantra. It's to come to the realization of your true nature, of your being, or of God consciousness within yourself. That's the main purpose of Tantra. Now, many people use Tantra in purely sexual way, and there is nothing wrong with that. But only using it in a sexual way is not gonna take you to the dissolution of your egoic identity. However, if you are using it with the right intention to make each other more pure, it's a tremendous power, because you are, through the act of love making, you can access the deeper layers of pain, of past emotions, of even traumas. And as that energy is released, the sexual energy, or the energy of life, which sounds Kundalini, that is released in lovemaking, that has a power to purify all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So in this way, the act of love making is extremely purifying and fulfilling practice rather than merely pleasurable, although it can be pleasurable as well, and it is pleasurable as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Often, like, the confusion starts with the awakening of Kundalini, because from that moment people can feel a surge in sexual energy. Because Kundalini is sexual energy. It's creative and sexual energy. Sometimes people will not know that it is related to each other and start to act on the sexual drive. And that can actually limit the potential of the awakening. Because if we just give away all our sexual power and energy just for the sake of pleasure, for a simple moment, it can, let's say, become a little bit of more like an obstruct in the journey, an obstacle in the journey. But if we see it as this sacred practice and sacred energy, which it is, and we can choose, right? Like, we can choose, do I want to give this sexual energy away? Or am I going to invest that energy into my own spiritual ascension journey or embodiment? Then it can actually create this power, or let's say multiply it or accelerate it.
Yes.
It's like, we have to choose a little bit of like what we will do with that. And I'd love to hear also from you, what is the best way to really embody that sexual energy in our daily life?
Well, the best way is determined really by the highest intelligence. But what is happening here is you need to first come to the realization of your true nature. That's the most important aspect, rather than focusing on embodiment of sexual energy, because you are fundamentally the energy of life. It is your energy. It is just that this energy has been narrowed or contracted in the structures of the personality. So imagine if I'm telling the energy of life is the total whole, but you're reducing that to a ball like this, to a tight ball of energy. So the more you untie that energy inside yourself through awareness, through surrender of your defense mechanisms and resistance to life itself. So instead of that tight ball of energy, you start opening up. And as this happens, the more you will find that the more sexual energy or energy of life will start to flow through you, through your body, and start healing your body. Now, it can happen when you are by yourself, by all means, but it can happen in partnerships as well. So if you are moved to, if life brings your partner with whom you can go on this journey together, that's extremely beautiful. But if it does not happen, if you are by yourself, that's beautiful as well. because ultimately you have to come to that deeper union within yourself, and it's transforming of that raw energy of life, or that we call sexual energy, into a refined state of love, because it's the same energy, it's just a different gradation of energy, different frequency of energy. Because what happens is that especially for men, when sexual energy has been hijacked by the ego, by the ego mind, that's when it comes into distortion, and that's why all men or most men are obsessed with sex. Because it's that ego that drives them into existence, drives them into a woman, drives them to fulfill themselves. I mean, there is nothing wrong with a natural impulse of man and woman. It's absolutely natural. But when ego hijacks that, that's when it generates lots of sexual distortions. That's when you are thinking about sex all the time. That's a distortion. So when you want to say that your separate self or ego is using your sexual energies when you think about sex. And most men think about sex. And many women do as well. But women are not sexual as such in their nature. They've been taught to be sexual by men mainly. But in their nature they are not.
Yeah, it's almost like an expectation we can create of ourselves, right? Like, I have to be sexual with men because otherwise I don't fit into the box of a good partner, of a good wife, because men like sex, so I need to fit into that stereotype to attract the right man.
Yeah.
But then what we see in women that have gone through a partial or full awakening is that their roles are almost they can reverse, where the woman can start to be more in the role of creating the play, creating the dance between the man and the woman, where she shows the man and leads the man into that sexual pleasure without the ultimate goal of an orgasm, right?
Yes, it's a very good point, because all that industry that has been conditioned both men and women, that what women have to be sexual to please men with these high heels, leather boots, stockings, nurse dresses, whatever that is. It's all created by that distorted masculine, the egoic structures of the man that just wants to please itself through a woman. The true male actually takes pleasure from delighting a woman. That's a true masculine nature when it's purified from the egoic obsession with sex. And then it's a play of energy. You don't need stockings, you don't need tools, you don't need anything, because it's all produced by the mind hijacking the pure natural sexual impulse that is really the impulse of love.
Yeah.
So then it becomes truly natural.
Yeah.
No, but because we've been conditioned in the wrong ways, it takes some time to undo all these structures, all that erroneous notions around sexuality. Ultimately, you come to this place where you transcend sexuality. It doesn't make you confused. You're still a female or a woman, but you are just a being,
Yeah.
and you behave naturally, and that's the most attractive. You're just a being in your body, and that's the most natural and the most attractive and magnetic to the man, to the right man, not to the sexual man, because sexual man would want to see stockings.
So let's make this super practical for a moment. Let's say any of our listeners is personally dealing with a man in their life that is more the distorted type of sexual. What can we show them, or what can we do with them to receive more sacredness in our relationship?
Yeah. Well, first of all, a man must want to listen to that, must want to receive that. And the second is a woman must be herself and stand in her feminine, in the truth of who she is, because that will impact the man if he is receptive and if he is truly loving her. Now, every woman knows the difference between love and sex. And for a woman in general, sex, if it's just sex, it's never fulfilling. It may be satisfying for some time, but it's not fulfilling. And if she gets confused or emotional or depressed a few days after, she knows that it's not what she wants. Because ultimately, woman wants to be loved. And the way she can be loved properly by a man is when man does not have any selfish drive to please himself, to reach an orgasm through a woman. It doesn't mean that orgasms are bad, that it shouldn't happen. It means that orgasm should not be man's drive into a woman.
Yeah.
A man's drive into a woman, if you want to put it this way, is his love to give her, to please her, to delight her.
Yeah.
And that changes man, because that's how a woman can open up to a man, and that's how that incredible energy of Shakti can be released and flow into a man, and a man who has sensitivity at least can know it, can experience that when he experiences the tremendous beauty of lovemaking and experience that extraordinary energy. That's Shakti coming through, and that transforms both.
Yeah. That's a beautiful sneak peek, I would call it, into the sexual expression of Shakti. And I think we also already mentioned the broader aspects of Shakti, because it's there in our daily life. It's not only in lovemaking or meeting a partner, it's also in the little things in life, right? Like just sitting there watching nature and feeling her presence, feeling her magic sometimes, in synchronicities, in the way that we are introduced by special people in our life, receiving the exact opportunity in the right time. Let's just, as a wrap up, come to the question of what does it look like to have a full, integrated, embodied awakening of Shakti?
It looks natural. That's a simple way.
Yeah.
You just are as you are. You don't need to pretend. You don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to be anyone other than who you are.
Yeah.
You don't hide anymore, because a lot of people, especially a lot of women, hide. They are afraid to open themselves up to express themselves because they are afraid to be judged, they're afraid to be rejected, they're afraid to be accused. They are all the time contracting and limiting their expression, or they hide behind the false facade of I am so cool. It can be also divine feminine facade. I'm divine feminine, so I'm above everyone. That's a divine ego, for example, in a woman. So it can play both ways. But when a woman is truly natural, you can see that. She is as she is. There is no difference between inside and outside. She says what she wants to say. She does what she does because she's uncompromising in her truth. She is not afraid to speak her truth for the sake of not being accepted, for the sake of keeping peace, keeping harmony, keeping status quo. Because a lot of women do that. A lot of women are afraid to speak their truth, to live their truth, because of their nature, their true nature is love and nourishment, and they want to make sure that everyone is okay. And what usually happens, they make sure that everyone is okay apart from them.
They are not okay.
And then she hides herself, she hides her unhappiness, or she overly stretches herself, showing that how great she is, while silently falling apart inside. But presenting outwardly the image of successful woman, mother. So when all of that is cleared, when a woman simply relaxes in her true nature, in being what she is, in expressing herself, in living her truth, in being uncompromising in her truth, that's Shakti coming through her.
And it's the woman that realizes that herself is the whole, right? So she is an expression of the divine feminine, and she is not self as the woman with the name that she carries, the looks that she carries around. That's also her. But she realizes that that beautiful magnetic expression of herself is all selves. So there is no feeling of I am more of a woman than what you are, or than my mother is, or my grandmother is, or the drug addict on the street is. We are all divine feminine. Some just found the way to accept that and to live life in harmony with that. And that, I feel, is what you see when you meet a woman that embodies Shakti. It is not a performing, not a doing, proving what she is. She is simply that.
Yes, absolutely. There is no competition anymore, no performance, no need to be above or below anyone, no need to please or seduce or manipulate or dominate. There's no need for any of that. You simply meet the other as they are, and you relate to the other the way the situation requires. Not from above, not from below. You just are as you are. It's as I say, the best word that I can describe, it's simply Natural and authentic.
Authentic, yes.
Authentic. That's two words, if I have to summarize the embodied expression of the feminine, is natural and authentic.
Yeah.
Being fully what she is.
Yeah. Beautiful. Wow. Are there any last words you want to say to the people that tuned in here to this conversation?
I just want to thank everyone who listened to the end. We explored a very important subject, and specifically for women. It is important because more and more women are awakening, and it is important that more women not only awaken but fully embody their true feminine nature, which is beyond gender, beyond identity, simply as one being expressing itself through the body. Because then you become a power in the world that can transform man and transform the world. Because the world is in a state where women are still, the feminine is still subjugated or not valued or denied. And it's time that the feminine is recognized first in a woman, because only then it can be recognized in a man.
Wow. Yeah, these are some beautiful closing words. Thank you so much. It was a really lovely conversation. And my name is Tika, and I was here today with Nataliya, who is a spiritual teacher, and she also coaches or mentors women on this beautiful journey of awakening. If you want to learn more about this, then don't hesitate to send me a message or send Nataliya a message. I will link her profile in the description. And if you want to join other women on this journey, then join One Essence, my women community. I hope to see you there, and we will talk much more about those juicy topics. Thank you.
Thank you.